YouTube, what is up? It is your main man, Young Mustard, and I am back with another video to discuss everyone's favorite player, Russell Westbrook. Now, for those who are not aware, Russell Westbrook recently, it came out today that he has signed his extension, a 5-year, $205 million contract, largest in NBA history when you consider that he also is going to get paid $33 million this season. So it's crazy. Russell Westbrook got a lot of money out of this deal, and the Thunder have locked Russell Westbrook up until the age of 34. So it's pretty clear that in the next 5 years, they're going to try to build around him. He is going to be the franchise piece. And as I look at the reactions on Twitter, I see a lot of people saying, you know, congrats to Westbrook on getting his money, which he does deserve. He deserves the money. This guy's a top 5 player in the league. He's a superstar. He's someone that can be the best player on a championship team. And it's crazy how the Oklahoma City Thunder, when you just look at them 5 or 6 years ago, when they had KD, Ibaka, Harden, and Westbrook, and now these guys only got Westbrook. It's just crazy. But besides that, this video is just about Russell Westbrook. And I want to sit here and say, I don't think this is a good decision. In fact, I might even go as far to say, I think this may have been the biggest mistake of Russell Westbrook's career. Now, I know some people may be saying it's too early to be saying stuff like that. You don't know the future, blah, 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 blah. But the thing is, let's just assess the Oklahoma City Thunder team right now. Alright, so right now the Thunder team right now have Russell Westbrook, Carmelo Anthony, and Paul George as their 3 big pieces. Their bench is basically, you know, non-existent. Let's just be real. Andre Roberson, Steven Adams, Oladipo's gone. You know, you have McDermott, you had McDermott because now he's gone. Cantor's gone, who was a potential 6th man of the year each and every year that he played in OKC. I mean, they've lost a lot of bench depth. Now, I do know that they could also just put Carmelo at the 4, put Roberson at the 2, and then put Patterson on the bench. And there's a lot of flexibility there, but let's just be real, that bench is demolished right now. And when we look at the Oklahoma City team, Paul George and Westbrook were on expiring contracts, and those were 2 big what ifs for the Oklahoma City Thunder, because one, you have Paul George here who said if they do something crazy like beat the Warriors, he'd be insane to leave. But that's the thing, they're not going to beat the Golden State Warriors, so I don't see Paul George staying past this season where he can go to LA and possibly team up with LeBron James, have Lonzo Ball, Ingram, Clarkson, Randall, depending on how they play, could also team up with them in LA in a big market and play in his hometown where he's always dreamed of playing. Let's just be real, he idolized Kobe. Let's never forget what he said on Jimmy Kimmel now.
Have you talked to Kobe about coming to the Lakers?
Not yet.
Not yet.
And then when you look at Carmelo Anthony, you look at the fact that after next season, which is the 2018 NBA season, he has a player option for 2019. So that kind of shows you that Carmelo Anthony and Paul George, the likelihood of both of them staying is actually pretty low, because Paul George will most likely be leaving due to what I said earlier. They're not going to beat the Warriors, so why stay? And then you have Carmelo Anthony, who, if he even stayed, what does that really do? You have Carmelo Anthony who's going to stay and take less money because he would need to take a pay cut. They're not going to pay him some max or some huge contract. You don't pay an aged, washed superstar that much money. And then when you have Russell Westbrook and Carmelo, where do you go from there? What hot free agents are you going to get after that? I mean, you've traded all your tradable assets. I mean, you have Steven Adams, who you're overpaying right now, because right now, are we going to get the Steven Adams that played against the Warriors in the 2016 Western Conference Finals? Or are we going to get the Steven Adams that was dragged and carried by Russell Westbrook throughout the whole of the 2017 NBA season? And then you have someone like Patrick Patterson, Andre Roberson. I mean, that's about it. They don't have any tradable legit assets that they can use to finesse again to get some superstar, or hell, even a star. I mean, don't get me wrong, they could probably get like a free agent here or there. And when I say a free agent, I'm talking about someone like a Rudy Gay, someone that you can just grab out of free agency, who's not a bad player, but not someone who's going to elevate you to championship contention. Let's just be real. The Thunder this year is a very important year. I mean, they got to beat the Warriors in order to keep this previous 3 intact, and they're not going to do that. Let's just be honest, they're not going to beat the Warriors, so Paul George is splitting, Carmelo Anthony most likely is splitting, and even if you re-sign him, what are you really going to do at that point? Play with Russ and Melo and then see where you go from there? That doesn't look like a very good direction now. And when you have someone like Russell Westbrook, who's a top 5 player in the league, and that could change depending on what the Rockets do next year and what the Thunder do next year, because if the Rockets do better than the Thunder, or they knock off the Thunder in the playoff or anything like that, you best believe I'm putting Harden above Westbrook on my top 5 players in the league. And then Westbrook will probably be bumped out of the top 5, but that's a topic for another discussion. So you have a top 5 player in Russell Westbrook, and then if you don't build anything around him, you're literally going to be wasting his prime. And you want to know what's funny? You want to know what's really hilarious? There's a guy named Carmelo Anthony on that team right now, and he was facing the exact same situation in 2014 when he had the option of going to the Bulls, but he chose to stay and be loyal to New York. And you know what we call him now for doing that? We call him selfish. But everyone's calling Westbrook loyal right now, and I remember that's what people were saying that Carmelo Anthony is when he took all that money and stayed in New York. They said that he was loyal. They said that he is someone who will stick it out and stay through the pain. He will fight to win a championship in New York. But now we're calling him selfish. And no one's going to be calling Westbrook that right now, but down the line, who knows what we'll be calling Westbrook? Who knows what we'll be calling him? Because let's not act like Carmelo Anthony wasn't leading the league in scoring one year, and then literally a few years later, we're calling him selfish because he chose to stay with New York. Let's never act as if Carmelo Anthony wasn't loved at one point in his career, and now he's hated to the point that he's not even ranked among the top 60 players in the league by ESPN, and he's ranked below Lonzo Ball. So let's never forget that Russell Westbrook right now, it may look good, but in the future when he's wasting his prime years in OKC, and you want to know what's even worse? OKC is a small market team. At least for Carmelo Anthony in New York is a good market. People want to play basketball in the city of New York. I mean, for Christ's sake, it's the mecca of basketball. I mean, whatever. But we also have to realize that OKC, they don't have that luxury. They don't have a big market. It's the middle of the country. No one wants to play. No one wants to live in Oklahoma. I mean, I hate to say it to everyone who's from there. I'm sorry, but these celebrities don't want to be playing and living in Oklahoma. I'm sorry. They want to be on big market teams, not only for the fact that it draws other free agents there, but also for the fact that it builds their own brand. You think it's not going to help Kevin Durant that he's staying in Golden State rather than Oklahoma? He builds his own brand as well, guys. That's another reason. Small market teams don't have the luxury of big market teams. Oklahoma City doesn't have the luxury of LA. I mean, let's just face the facts here. Hell, they don't even have the luxury of Houston. I mean, it really is that bad for Oklahoma City. So besides that, with all these factors, the last big factor for Russell Westbrook that this may be the worst mistake of his career and the biggest mistake of his career is the fact that nothing in Oklahoma is a guarantee. I don't understand that. Nothing in Oklahoma is a guarantee right now. First of all, Paul George, like I said, he's not a guarantee. Melo's not a guarantee. I mean, what else is a guarantee? Nothing. Nothing in Oklahoma right now is certain. You don't even know if Billy Donovan's going to be your coach within the next 2 to 3 seasons. And we all know that Billy Donovan's kind of been on the hot seat over the past few seasons ever since they fired Scott Brooks. So let's just face the facts here that Russell Westbrook may have just made the biggest mistake in his whole entire career that he may regret, just like Melo regretted, signing a 5-year contract extension with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Don't get me wrong, get your money, get everything that you are definitely worth. But at the end of the day, you may be regretting it, wasting your prime on a team that will not put sufficient talent around you, and you are the best player, putting up great, ridiculous numbers. You may make the Hall of Fame. You're already a Hall of Famer, forget it. But at the end of the day, is it going to lead you to a championship? Because I highly doubt that, Russ.